Hi, everybody. So I think I'm finally ready to talk about the things that I referenced in a couple other videos as far as why I decided to detransition or to live my life as a man before I decided to go on hormones and all of that. So just a little backstory. I have been cross dressing full time since 2011, 2011, I want to say. um and in 2016 I decided to stop dressing up as a woman, and not necessarily that I wanted to. I mentioned before in my body language video that I used to do a lot to my body, and it was kind of overwhelming. I would engage myself in all of this stuff that I felt that I had to do in order to look like a woman. So I kind of just got really sick of it, and it wasn't really me. All that stuff wasn't me. And that's really what I got sick of. And I thought that meant if I'm not wearing all that stuff, that I can't possibly be a woman. So I need to start living my life as a man. Not to mention, when I started dressing, it was like really right after high school, and high school is such a cruel time, especially being trans, and I had a really difficult time with it when I was in high school. And for me, after I started dressing, all of those things that tortured me before disappeared, like being made fun of and those feelings of not fitting in and being accepted and being like, an outcast and all of that. But what I didn't realize is it wasn't just because I started dressing, it was also because I finished high school, and leaving that place and going to college, it's completely different. Like it's not like high school at all. So, and I mean, yeah, I was more confident as well, more comfortable with who I was when I was dressed as a woman. But anyway, so I felt like, well, maybe I just was relieved without getting, made fun of. And maybe it was just something I did to really appease and blend in with the crowd because I looked and was accepted more as a woman than I was as a man. So I said, you know what? Also, my family and my mom really was an influence there, and I was like, this is how they want me to live, and this is how God made me, and maybe, I should really try first to live my life as a man before I decide that that's not what I want, or that's not how I am, or that's not who I am. And it is a decision. A lot of people, especially trans people, say, oh, well, we didn't choose this. Well, whether we choose, to transition or not is really the choice. It's not if we're trans. You're either trans or you're not trans. And we have no choice in that. But what we do have a choice in is if we decide to transition and go through with it. So I was scared to death before of taking hormones because I was afraid that one day I was going to wake up, and that day I woke up, I was going to be like, I'm ready to be a man. I'm done dressing up as a woman. I'm done with all of this nonsense. I'm ready to be a man. I thought that that day was going to come, and I was scared that if I took hormones or if I had any kind of, surgeries, that, you know, I would be stuck with it. It'd be too late. I'd be messed up on the inside because hormones, if you go back and forth, it does mess you up. So, in other words, I wanted to be absolutely 100% sure that this is what I wanted. And so, therefore, I needed to do it for myself. So, I got rid of almost all of my girl stuff. I got rid of almost all of my drag. I'm also a drag performer. Um, and I decided to live my life as a man. Well, very quickly, within 6 months, I had realized that this was not for me, and I wanted to go back to dressing as a woman. But I don't know. I just felt like I really needed to give it a go. So, a year into living my life as a man, I really wanted to go back. And I was started dressing again outside of work. So, I was working as a man, and I started dressing again just like in everyday stuff. And I had a roommate at the time who, when I was going through this, and he, very nice guy, he was like, you know, you seem much happier when you're dressed. And you seem much nicer. Like you're more fun to be around when you're dressed. And I thought, no, 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 I'm the same. No matter what clothes I'm wearing, I'm the same. Like, that's all, it's bullshit. I'm the same. And he said, no, I notice a difference in you when you're dressed, and you're much happier, you're much more pleasant to be around, you're nicer. And then I started to look at it myself, and I started to really reflect on how I felt and get in touch with those emotions and those feelings when I was dressed. Okay, am I different? What's different about me? Um, and I just started to pay more attention, and I realized that I was much happier when I was dressed, and I felt more comfortable, and I enjoyed it. I was happier. I don't know. It was just, it just felt so much better. It felt less like a costume dressing as a woman than it did dressing as a man. So I decided, you know what? I am, in fact, I'm transsexual, and I'm meant to be a woman, and I'm going to go back to that. So I talked to my job, and they were very, very good about it. The company that I work for is very, very good and very much very supportive of the LGBT community. So I was really, really lucky there, and I'm very, very grateful for the company that I have and how they have been very professional through this entire process with me. I mean, considering it's my personal life and it's something that I need to figure out myself. So I went back to working as a woman. I went back to living full time as a woman. And then a part of going back was they're like, okay, well, just let us know when you start hormones. Well, it still was not my intention to start hormones because I was still trying to figure out who I was. And then I thought, but why not? If I have truly decided this is my way of life, why not start hormones? I have decided this is it. This is truly me, and this is who I am. So I said, you know what? I'm going to look into it. And I got into therapy and got my letter for hormone replacement therapy and all that. And I got started on it. And it has been amazing. Like, oh my God, I can't tell you how much better I feel on the hormones and how they've changed my body and how they've changed my mind. I don't think I could feel comfortable not wearing a wig and presenting as female without the hormones. Like I could not do that. I don't There was something about the hormones that flipped a switch in me that made me okay with that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So many things have changed. How I view myself, how I feel about myself, how I feel about my body has changed because of the hormones. And it's amazing. And I don't know if I could go back in time, if I would change it, because I felt like there was things that I needed to go through in those many years that I cross-dressed that made me who I am today. And I don't know if I could be the same person or appreciate the hormones like I do now. So that's very important to me. But yeah, I'm glad that I did. I still haven't decided, on how much further I want to go with my transition. But for now, I'm so happy. And I am the woman I was meant to be. And no one can take that away from me. No one. And that's so important to me.